Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here again to take some pretty complex sources and try to distill them down into something useful, something you can really connect with.
Absolutely.
And today we are diving deep. We're looking into the spiritual architecture of healing, you could say. Specifically, the very complex, really fascinating world of symbols used in Reiki. We've got quite a stack of sources here covering philosophy, the practical side of energy work, some historical context too.
It's a good mix.
Right. And our mission really is to get past just the simple drawings you might see online. We want to understand what a symbol truly is in this context, how it functions as an energetic tool for real transformation.
Yeah, and that's important because the word symbol itself kind of hints at this depth, this complexity.
Oh, so.
Well, the sources point back to the Greek origin, symbolon. It's made up of syn, which means together, and bla, which means something like throwing or beam.
Ah, like throwing two things together.
Exactly. It suggests bringing separate things together, creating a bridge, maybe, or a focus point. The sources actually say its accurate meaning cannot be defined. It's inherently complex.
Okay, so symbols are meant to bridge different realities, maybe. That immediately makes me think about the practice side. If the core meaning is, like you said, undefinable, vast, why the very specific drawings in Reiki? Doesn't that fixed image contradict the fluid meaning?
That's a really great question, and the philosophy sources tackle it head on. The image, the drawing, it's a necessary focal point. But the real power, the living power, is in the depth of meaning it unlocks within the person working with it.
Okay.
Joseph Campbell, for example, he had a great definition. He called a symbol an energy-evoking and direction agent.
Energy evoking, so it's not passive, it does something.
Precisely. It's an active force. And Campbell elaborated on that, saying symbols work on 3 levels at the same time.
Right, I remember reading that. There's the corporeal level.
Yeah, that's our everyday waking consciousness.
Yeah.
The tangible world we see and touch.
Then the spiritual level, like dreams, meditation states.
And then the third, which is maybe the most profound, the ineffable, the realm of the absolutely unknowable.
The part words can't really grasp.
Exactly. And that's why the symbol, this visual structure, becomes so important. It's a way to sense or evoke that hidden energy, that unknowable dimension that language just can't map.
So the symbol is like a visual key, opening a door to something our rational mind can't chart on its own. This connects nicely to Paul Tillich's idea, doesn't it? The difference between dead and living symbols.
Yes, absolutely essential context for Reiki. A living symbol, in Tillich's view, is one that actively points beyond itself, revealing something hidden, something transcendent.
As a dead symbol.
It's lost that power. It becomes just, well, a sign. Intellectual placeholder for meaning it no longer truly evokes. And Carl Jung echoed this too, stressing that a true symbol always stands for something fundamentally unknown or imprecise. It forces you into active engagement, into inquiry.
Okay, so let's bring this right into the practice. If we map this onto Reiki, just knowing about the symbol, intellectually, that's the dead symbol.
Yeah.
But using it, feeling it, letting it work, that's the living one.
That's a great way to put it.
Which leads us to the practical question. If the meaning is fluid and the deepest part is unknowable, how does someone actually use these tools effectively for healing?
Right, and the sources are quite clear on this. The real meaning, the depth, it reveals itself through working with the symbols. It's an active engagement.
It requires effort then.
Definitely. It reflects that core Reiki principle. The more we give, the more we get. It's about consistent practice, respect, building that relationship with the symbol's energy.
So practically, how do practitioners view them? The sources call them keys to solve any problem.
Yes, that's a common description. They're seen as tools to unlock specific inner resources within the person receiving Reiki. They work on different levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, wherever the issue, the problematic area resides.
This idea of keys brings up access and respect. There's often debate, are the symbols secret or are they sacred?
The sources lean heavily, almost unanimously, towards sacred. They require profound respect, devotion even.
You can find them everywhere online now. Anyone can look them up and draw them.
True. They aren't secret anymore in that sense. But, and this is the crucial part, just having the image, the drawing, isn't enough.
Ah, this is where the attunement comes in. Finding the picture of the key doesn't mean you can unlock the door.
Exactly. That's the critical distinction. The sources strongly suggest that unless a person is formally attuned by a certified Reiki master, the symbols, well, they can hardly be used effectively, if at all.
What happens during attunement? Why is it so vital?
The attunement is described as a sacred ritual. The master essentially imprints the energetic pattern, the blueprint of these symbols directly into the student's aura, their energy field. Think of it like installing the operating system that allows the key, the symbol drawing, to actually interact with the lock, the energy system. Without that energetic architecture being set up, the drawing remains just, well, a drawing, an empty form.
Right, that makes sense. Now, this next point seems really important, almost like a built-in safety mechanism. The sources emphasize a powerful limitation. Neither Reiki energy itself nor the symbols can be used with what they term a wrong intention.
Yes, this speaks to the integrity of the system. It's why understanding Reiki as intelligent energy is so fundamental.
Intelligent energy. What does that mean in practice? Let's say a practitioner tries to misuse it, maybe out of ego or misguided good intentions, like trying to force a specific outcome. Heal this ankle right now, or make my client get that job.
Well, the energy simply doesn't cooperate with that kind of specific, often limiting directive. It essentially ignores the practitioner's narrow focus if it's not aligned with the person's highest good.
So it bypasses the ego's agenda. How does that actually work?
The energy flows only for the highest interest of the person receiving it. It goes where it's truly needed, which might be very different from what the practitioner or even the client thinks they want or need.
Ah, I see.
So if the client is stressed about a job promotion, the energy might address the underlying anxiety and stress patterns causing the distress, rather than directly interfering with the external event of the promotion itself.
So it's like an inner compass, always pointing towards overall well-being, towards beneficence. That makes deliberate misuse structurally impossible then.
According to the sources, yes, it's a self-correcting system.
That really reframes the whole thing. It's less about directing energy with focused intent and more about focused surrender to a benevolent intelligence system. Okay, let's get into the actual toolkit now, the specific symbols. We should probably go through the main 4 from the Usui lineage first, the ones taught in the standard levels.
Sounds good. These 4 are really the foundation, usually taught in the 2nd and 3rd degrees or levels of Usui Reiki. Each has a distinct purpose.
Okay, let's start with the one people probably see most often, the one associated with power. Choku-rei. How is that one used?
Right, Choku-rei. It's known as the power symbol. Think of it as an amplifier and a focus point. A practitioner might draw it at the start of a session to immediately boost the flow of Reiki energy, drawing that universal energy into the specific space or onto the client.
So turning up the volume, so to speak.
Kind of, yeah. But it's also crucial for grounding the energy during the session and, very importantly, for sealing the person's energy field at the end. This helps the healing integrate and provides a sense of energetic protection. It brings power right into the here and now.
Okay. Then we shift focus more to the mind and emotions with Seihei-ki.
Exactly. Seihei-ki is the mental emotional healing symbol. This one is used specifically when dealing with things like deep-seated negative thought patterns, maybe addictions, emotional blockages, trauma release.
How does it work?
Its function is primarily purification and harmony. It's said to help harmonize the left and right sides of the brain, releasing old patterns held in the conscious and subconscious mind. A practitioner might visualize or draw it over the client's head, or perhaps the heart chakra, when addressing emotional pain or trying to help someone break unhelpful habits.
Makes sense. That leaves the 2 master-level symbols. Let's talk about the one that bends space and time. Hanshazi Shonen.
Ah, yes, the distance symbol. This one is maybe the most mind-bending, philosophically speaking. It acts like a bridge, or maybe a cosmic switchboard.
Allowing energy work across distance.
Exactly. Across geographical distance, sending healing to someone far away, but also across time. Practitioners use it to send healing to past traumas, or even to future events or anxieties. It's the key that establishes that energetic connection, essentially collapsing perceived distance in time, reinforcing that idea of fundamental interconnectedness.
Wow. Okay. And finally, the symbol representing the highest vibration, the one often used in the attunement process itself. Daikomyo.
Daikomyo, known as the master symbol, sometimes called the Great Shining Light. This represents the highest frequency in the Usui system.
How is it different from Choku-rei, the power symbol?
Where Choku-rei amplifies the flow of energy, Daikomyo is more about spiritual integration, enlightenment, connecting with the person's highest self or soul essence. It's used primarily by Reiki masters during the attunement process itself because it helps raise the student's vibration to the necessary level and facilitates the integration of the spiritual self with the physical body. It's like shining a light on the spiritual path ahead.
It's really worth pausing on the origin note you mentioned earlier, linking these powerful tools back to their roots. They came from Japanese kanji, right?
That's what the sources indicate. Han, Sha, Zeisho Nen, and Daikomyo are apparently pure Japanese kanji.
And the first two?
Chokurei and Seiheki might be a blend, possibly a combination of Sanskrit and Japanese kanji. This wasn't unusual, apparently. Japanese Buddhists often integrated concepts and terms from older Indian spiritual traditions into their own practices, creating new tools for their systems.
Fascinating how traditions weave together. Now, the sources didn't stop at the Usui symbols. They mentioned other systems, like Karuna Reiki, offering an expanded toolkit.
Right. That's where you find symbols like Zonar, Shanti, Hearth, Om, Dumo, and others. These aren't meant to replace the core Usui symbols, but rather to offer more specialized energies, refining the healing process.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Hearth, for instance, is often used specifically for healing issues related to the heart chakra, grief, relationships, developing deeper compassion for oneself and others. They add nuance.
And it seems this symbolic framework is quite adaptable. The sources even brought up using symbols specifically for attracting abundance or prosperity.
Yes, they mention practices sometimes called money Reiki, which utilize specific symbols like the Vasuddha symbol or the Midas star.
Really? Symbols for money?
Well, for abundance and prosperity, which includes financial well-being. It demonstrates how the core principle, using a symbol to focus and initiate the flow of intelligent energy, can be applied across a whole spectrum of human concerns, from deep emotional healing right through to material well-being.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've journeyed from some pretty abstract philosophical ideas right down to the practical application of these, well, energetic blueprints. It seems clear these symbols are described as much more than just drawings. They really are hidden keys to healing and transformation.
Absolutely. And designed fundamentally for personal growth, which then ripples outwards, contributing to the betterment of society.
Which circles back beautifully to what the source material concluded, doesn't it? That idea that each of us is a small but potentially powerful part of the larger universe.
Exactly. And when you approach these tools, these symbols, this energy, with real devotion, with soul-level intention, using them as gifts for yourself and for others, that localized act of healing just naturally expands. It contributes to a more peaceful, more harmonious world, one person at a time. It's really a call to take active, conscious responsibility for our own well-being.
That focus on self-mastery, on self-healing potential is really powerful. It brings me to a final thought, something provoked by the sources themselves. Some practitioners apparently believe Reiki should be almost a household skill, used by families regularly to boost immunity, reduce reliance on maybe overuse of industrialized medicine.
Reserving things like allopathy for the really critical acute conditions.
Right. So if we take that idea seriously, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What fundamental role does the power of self-healing access through non-material means, like these symbolic keys, play in the future of wellness? What happens if whole communities, whole populations start reclaiming that personal therapeutic power?
That is definitely something to think about, a potential paradigm shift.
Indeed. Something to mull over until our next deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.